friends, and welcome to my den for the midweek video, and looking forward to doing this one. I was kind of mulling over what I was going to do, and then it dawned on me. Comparison between two titans in the wet shaving world. Before we get into that though, I want to show you something new that arrived in the den. Thanks to my man, Guy Solis at Gentleman's Edge. So Guy and I were joking around a couple weeks ago. He was sipping on some Crown Royal in a video. And I'm a fan of Crown Royal myself because, well, I'm Canadian, let's be honest. Most Canadians love Crown Royal. You know, I know some people are like, well, Crown Royal's not the best. And no, it's not the best whiskey, but for me, it's a nice, approachable, easy drinking whiskey, and I love it. But anyway, the moral of the story is he had the bag. And I was joking around saying, I live in Canada, Crown Royal is made in Canada, and we can't get the bags here because we can't. You go to the liquor store, it's just bottles of Crown Royal. They don't come in the bags. You go online to like, you can create your own bag like with your own initials on it like as a gift. You can't get that in Canada. You can't order a bag from Crown Royal Canada, and it's like, but it's made here. Weird, I know. So anyway, Guy's like, well, I got a few, I'll send you a Crown Royal bag. I'm like, well, that's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So the mail shows up yesterday, and it's in a gigungous box, and I'm like, no, he didn't. Well, yeah, he did, and this is what he sent me. A most gorgeous strap. Very nice, heavy-duty cloth side. And an absolutely gorgeous leather side. What a frigging amazing strap this is. So, thank you very much, Guy. Truly a most generous gift, and yeah, that's gonna be a treasured part of my den. And I sent him an email and I was like what do you even say? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, thanks just isn't enough. And so that's where we're at. All right, so into the topic of today's video. Clash between the two titans, and the surfactant we're gonna use for that clash is something I haven't used in a while. I haven't even used this since I put it back in winter rotation, which is Collins Trade&Supply Spiked Cannon. Most wonderful scent of cedarwood and clove. That's it. Cedarwood and clove. All natural ingredients in this bad boy. It is a great soap. You can find it at Spiffo. Speaking of which, going with the Spiffo Jackson once again with the High Mountain White Badger. Love this brush. Nice and soft on the face. Wonderful face lathering brush. And we'll just get right in here and load this heavy and get to work. So how's everybody's week going? Mine is going pretty good. It's a very big week for me. Got some stuff going on. Planning a very special video for Saturday. Saturday is going to be a very special day indeed. We'll get into that on the Saturday video. But it's pretty cool, I think. I'm really looking forward to doing that one as well. And we'll just continue to get this loaded up. That's a nice heavy load right there. And we'll go right into the face lather. All right. And here we go. Very nice face feel on this soap right off the bat. It just feels like quality when you start applying it to your face. And we'll build a quick face lather here. It's like Chris says at IAMCDB, I'm not going for a show lather here. As a face latherer, I know sometimes I do get a bit of volume. And that's really not my intent, is to have a huge Santa Claus lather. My goal is to have a well-hydrated lather with enough volume in the brush for all my passes. Because if you're face lathering, then you don't have the benefit of going back to the bowl to scoop out more lather. You have to get your lather into this brush for your two subsequent passes plus your pickups. If you are going to do pickups, and then obviously the first lather that's on your face. So that's what I look for. I just look for enough volume for the shave, sufficient hydration, and that's it. And I could tell one quick look at that brush, that's pretty much enough lather for 2 more passes. Try to do 1 more application of water. And we'll get right into it. And as you get used to face lathering, you'll quickly learn how much volume you need. Alright, so let's talk about the razors. So yes, going with the 2 titans of the, I'm going to say the mass-produced market. I break down safety razors into 3 categories. You have your mass-produced, which would be your Mühles, your McCurrs, your Edwin Jaggers, etc., etc. Those are made for the, you know, for the mass market, so to speak. They're kind of like your gateway razors into the hobby. Then obviously you have your vintages, which is, you know, the Gillettes, Schick injectors, and you know, gems, all that stuff. And then you have what I call the boutique, and your boutique razors would be your Carves, your Carbons, Timeless, Above the Tie, Icon, Henson, Rockwell. I would consider all those to be your more boutique razors. Those are kind of what you start looking for after you get into, you know, after the mass market razors suck you in, because that's when you start getting into things like extra base plates, customizable blade gaps, etc., etc. You know, or different handles, different handle lengths. These mass market razors, they come as is, and you know, a few different handle options, but the handle's usually the same. So for today, we're using the Edwin Jagger DE89 barley handle and the Mühle R102. It's also the R41. It's an R41 head with this ivory and chrome handle that makes it the 102. But it is an R41, so we're pivoting Edwin Jagger's run-of-the-mill, entry-level, easy riding, everyday, mild shaving razor against the infamous R41. Both of these have a Vascade in them. And we'll warm up the head of the razor, and we'll go. So I'm going to use the DE89 on the right side of the face. And you're right off the bat, super mild, very little blade feel. The only thing about these mass market razors is it's very hard to find information on the darn things, like blade gaps and stuff like that. So you kind of have to just go by, you know, what the manufacturer says and what forums and YouTube videos say. So now we'll go with the R41. Definitely more blade feel right off the bat. But in terms of efficiency, it doesn't feel all that much more efficient over the Edwin Jagger, and I think that might come down to head design. I know the R41 gets a lot of flack, you know, as being super aggressive and you can't really daily drive with it, but I think like everything in this hobby, it really comes down to experience. Now, would an R41 be a daily driver right off the get-go when you're just learning how to DE shave? I think it may be a bit much for that. Whereas I think the DE89 would be a better choice for a beginner if you were looking at going with a mass-produced razor from one of the big companies. But I also think the R41 is a great next step once you get a bit of experience and you learn to control your pressure and your touch and your feel. Because to be honest, I'm not really feeling all that much different in the grand scheme of things on the face. I'm using the same touch with both, the same pressure, roughly the same angle. Both these heads feel like they want to cut at the same angle, which is good. You can switch back and forth between the two. Do a little rinse. Get some residual slickness going here. This soap has lots of residual slickness. Really is a great soap. By the way, there's going to be links to everything down below. The Mühle R102 comes courtesy IAMCDB and the Razor Company. I won that on one of Chris's giveaways, the 5K for the second time. I've included a link to the Razor Company. You can buy both these razors there. And there's links to Spiffo for a new brush and this soap if you do desire. And I really do like the scent on this soap. Just classic. Cedarwood, clove. Smells very nice. It just smells like woody clove. So if clove is your thing, which clove is very much my thing, you'll love this soap. All right, final pass. Maybe some pickups, but so far a nice easy shave with both razors. I do find the Edwin Jagger, I don't want to say struggles on the against the grain, but I do have to do a bit more buffing with this as compared to some of my other razors, because it is such a mild shaver. So I do have to be careful to avoid over shaving with it and achieving that BBS. So the nod on that goes to the R41, because the R41 will definitely pick up everything in its path with very, very little need to go back and buff. And I can tell that pretty much just annihilated about 90%. No, not even 95% of all the hairs. That's pretty much BBS right there right now. Just missed a couple swaths right there. Very nice. And actually I'll do a little pickup right underneath my chin. And I will do that pickup with the R41, because the R41 is going to get most of those hairs in one easy, one fell swoop. Whereas the Edwin Jagger might need a bit more buffing. Really liking the Voskhod in the R41, and I really enjoy the Voskhod in the Edwin Jagger too. I mean, it really is my favorite blade. It does perform quite well in everything I put it in. And I think that blade choice, I think, is very, very, very important when it comes to these razors. Probably one of the single most important things when it comes to your DE razors. Because, you know, razors do get a bad rap sometimes for being too mild or too aggressive. But, you know, if you have a razor that maybe is too mild, well, maybe put a more efficient blade in there, and you may be surprised at the results. You might get a super easy shave, still with that nice mild, you know, blade gap, blade exposure, have you? But with a more aggressive blade or a sharper blade, you might end up with a super easy VBS that you never thought was possible without extreme overshaving. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum with the R41, if you're using a super sharp, aggressive blade, of course, one of those blades that comes to mind is the Feathers. They're renowned for that. Then, you know, maybe switch to a milder, smoother blade, and you would be surprised at how well that R41 performs and just how smooth and easy of a shave it gives you if you pair the right blade to the right razor. For the splash, going with the matching Collins Trade&Supply. I like to call this a splom. because this is nice and thick. It applies like an aftershave balm. It's nice and thick when you rub it into the face, but it has alcohol in it, and it is technically a splash. A lot of good skin foods in here. Feels very luxurious on the face, and the scent strength on this stuff is awesome. This is an all-day. This is an all-day splash, and I'm going to apply just a little bit more. Just a big hit of clove right off the bat. Oh, I love the smell of clove. And you get that cedar wood underneath it. Oh, just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, gang, so that is the shave for today. So the quick recap, we had the Collins Trade&Supply, which is the house brand for Spiffo. Spiked Cannon, the Spiffo High Mountain White Badger Knot, and pitted the notorious R41 up against the legendary Edwin Jagger DE89, and yeah, pleasantly surprised with that. Perfect blade choice for each razor, perfect shave, and I'm very happy with that. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate it, guys. Appreciate all the support, and we'll see you in the next one. So until then, be safe, be kind to one another. Most importantly, have a great day and an even better shave. Peace, and I love yous.